Every passion begins somewhere. For Joanne, it was a journey that would change her life forever, her very first trip to Africa. What she discovered there, the vastness of the landscapes, the quiet beauty of the wilderness, and the presence of animals in the natural element, opened the door to a lifelong love. A passion that is not only about travel, but about connection, discovery, and transformation.
I think my passion for Africa just came from visiting there. I never really knew much about it. Then in 2004, myself and my mum went to Kenya on a holiday. And once we got there, I was like blown away how beautiful it was, how amazing it was, and how completely different from the UK. The open space, the nature and the calmness of the people. Just being outside on safari in the wilderness, it's just animals. There's no real cars, there's no people, no hustle and bustle. It's just serene, quiet, beautiful, and I just felt completely at home there from the first time I ever landed. So May 2004, we flew into Nairobi, had one night there. And then after that night, we woke up in the morning, we were like, oh my God, it's really hectic, it's really busy. We looked out the hotel window and there were people everywhere. We were at a festival, we were like, oh my God, where are we? This is crazy, it's like London. Then our driver came and picked us up and we got in the Jeep and we drove for 5 hours to northern Kenya to somewhere called Samburu. And from the moment we got there, I was like, okay, yeah, this is the right decision. It's going to be an amazing holiday. And I remember driving into Buffalo Springs Park for the first time, and the first animal we ever saw was an oryx. And I will always remember that. And then the second animal was a giraffe. And ever since then, I have loved giraffes. So as I say, we started in Samburu. We stayed there for 2 nights and then we travelled down about 4 hours from memory to somewhere called Lake Nakuru. A massive great big lake with all the pink flamingos. As far as you can see, it's just pink and pink and pink. Loads and loads of birds. We saw some rhinos there as well, which I was really surprised about. And then we headed down to the Masai Mara, which is again a completely different landscape. Open plains, long grasses and lions. I think just watching them, I'd been to the zoo a few times in the UK. I really have a thing about not liking zoos at all. I understand from a conservation point of view why some animals are bred in zoos, but if you see an elephant or a giraffe out in the plains of Africa, you can understand why a zoo is not a place to have an elephant roam for miles and miles and miles. And you can just sit in the Jeep and you just watch them. And they have got worries. They're worried about being eaten by predators, but other than that, they've really not got a care in the world. They're just traveling about, doing their own thing, living their life. No hustle, no confrontation, unless a predator comes along. But generally, they're just at ease, just living their life. Yeah, I've always had horses all my life. Well, say my whole life, from far back as I can remember. I've always had a horse, we've always had cats, we've had dogs when I was younger. So I've always understood what it's like to have a deep connection with an animal. They know you, they recognise you, they talk to you almost. So yeah, you get to understand an animal on a deeper level when you look after it and care for it every single day. They need you, but they also kind of don't need you. To me, it's probably different for everyone, like a sense of calmness, and most of the time they don't want anything from you.
Traveling through Africa is not just about landscapes or wildlife, it's about connection. A connection to nature, to animals, and to ourselves. Animals remind us of calm, of freedom, of living in the present without complications. They don't need us, yet they choose to share the presence with us. And that is the greatest lesson of all. For Joanne, this passion for Africa is inseparable for her lifelong love of animals. From horses at home to giraffes on the savannah, they have always been her companions and her teachers. Through them, she found calm, freedom, and a sense of belonging. Africa, then, is not just a place for Joanne. It's a mirror of her deepest passions and the beginning of a story that continues to unfold.